And we continue with our next interviewee, the judge, Oded Mudrik. Hello. Yes, judge, retired judge. Yeah, the vice president to the Tel Aviv Regional Court. Yes, I remember your name on the billboards of the court back when I was working as a lawyer. Yeah. Look, we're today in the middle of a war, and the situation is not a simple one. And we can see that even in Biden's speech, on one hand, he was very caressing, but there was one sentence that triggered many people. And that sentence, he says, "And Israel must maintain international rules of combat." Is Israel maintaining the rules of combat over the years, or is there an Israeli addition, which is not there in those international law? Somebody add that addition. Can you wisen us on this issue? In principle, the state of Israel makes an effort to maintain what you call rules of combat, amongst other things, because it is a state of culture. It's not a horde of animals. But I don't think that the international law hems us in overly, meaning it is sometimes a matter of interpretation, but definitely under the current circumstances, we can act within a great measure of freedom, even under international law. If you'd like, I can explain that point. Is though something that looks like the main difficulty, that in my eyes is not a great difficulty, maybe not even a difficulty at all. There are two rules, basic rules. The first basic rule is that a state, like any other person, have the right for self-defense. And at the moment somebody attacks you, you're well within your rights to return war, to hunt that person down and kill them. Over that, in effect, there is no argument. The second basic rule is that you do not kill innocents, that you do not aim your fire at people that you know clearly that are not involved. There are several difficult intermediary problems. I will not get into them at the status of the terrorists, these terrorists. If they are these citizens, or these soldiers, or are they combatants, illegal combatants, it doesn't matter at this moment. Now, apparently there is a contradiction between A and B. Since if the terrorists are protecting themselves with a human shield, which is not involved, in order to hurt them, the terrorists, and fulfill our right for self-protection, you have to harm innocents. About that, international law says that there isn't such a right to protect yourself with innocence. Such protection does not prevent your opponent, meaning us, to hurt you, and in that process, those innocents. But what is the limitation? The limitation of proportion. If you want to achieve a certain goal, and for that matter, let's say there is some terrorist behind a human shield, and your goal is to attack a certain headquarters, you're forbidden, apparently, according to the principles of international law, and by any normal principle that there is, to hurt this person. But if your purpose, and that is the purpose at the moment, is to eliminate Hezbollah from the first one to the last one, no, not Hezbollah, Hamas, from the first to the last of them, then there is no question of proportion. More so that he tell people, if anybody wants to protect themselves, should get the hell out of there to the south of Gaza. After that, the problems will arise when we will have went in by foot. But before we continue, you said a great saying. Now let's emphasize it so the viewers will understand what you've said. You said, look, and the situation which is in front of us, theoretically, some people say that the rules of law do not apply because they're illegal combatants, but let's put that aside. Okay, let's flow with you on that matter. But also you said that once the main declared purpose of the war is, according to the enlightened world, which has agreed to it, and you said you allow the population to move south. and you're at the moment concentrating on the northern side, which is a very smart idea, which solved a lot of legal issues. In effect, after that declaration, and after that is the goal of the war, at the moment that this thing is being implemented and give him much more than 24 hours, let him know that he needs to move to the south. In effect, the IDF is free to attack in order to destroy. Yes, only with one caveat, that it attacks knowing that he's attacking something which helps it achieve the goal of the war, not just randomly attack. Yes, we are human beings. But if you have to attack somewhere in order to achieve the goal of the war, the move you took, the ability to run away, is within more than enough. Just another small remark, the fact that do not maintain the rules of combat, do not release us of it, but that is a small detail. No, but there is a saying. There was here a lawyer, Totchani, she's an expert on that field. She spoke of if he should even consider them as legal combatants. But let's not go in there. I can explain it. It's very simple, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm with you. I accept your saying we should put it to the side. But now, you're actually saying that this decision to send south the population, to enable it to move south, released the IDF, but did not release it to kill randomly, but attack. But you know that the reality that we stand before it in Gaza is in the underground city, a city which is underground and essentially an entrance, according to the people, to the experts of the military. You cannot disinfect Gaza without bringing in military ground force. But excuse me, I'm speaking like a Golani infantry soldier. When I go into Gaza and there are cracks here in the ground, there in the ground, they prepared surprises for me. In order to maintain human life, to win this war, the IDF apparently will need to bombard on the street-to-street level. You have to do a rolling screen of fire that all its way will cover with fire whomever will be in there. Yes, this is, according to my view, is allowed. True that in other days, many countries, many entities in the world will say it is not proportional. But today we have more backup. But from an internal point of view, I can say it's illegal to look at the eyes of our generals, at the eyes of our soldiers, and tell them what you're doing is perfectly legal. Yes, I want to ask you a question. Prepare it for you for a landing. It's your decision. Do with it what you will. Those that contend that there is over-legalization that actually hemmed in the IDF and maybe made it difficult for it to do its job. Do you identify with that? Saying if yes, why? And if not, I would like you to explain. As I'm an ex of that system, that military legal system, decades I have served there, and I know how they work and how they function, what do they do. This is a wrong saying. The legal system, the legal consultation for the army does everything in order to enable the military to fulfill its purpose and funnels it exactly to the same limitation that I have posed just this moment, and nothing beyond that. There's only one thing that the public should understand. That is the fear of being indicted in the International Court in The Hague, criminal law, which takes place when the State of Israel gives complete freedom to the combatants, to the commanders, to the leaders, without any account and without checking each and every case in order to see its justification. In such a case, according to the law, agree to it or not, according to the international law, any state can take so-called criminals of war and indict them in order to prevent such a situation as much as possible, because there are states that whatever you do will behave exactly in the same way that I mentioned. But in order to prevent that as much as possible, you check each and every occasion and think as much as possible in advance in order to prevent such a situation where we will be told you did not check, you did not give guidance, you did not define anything. The benefit of this is dubious. It's not always good. But yes, in effect, until today we don't have many people that suffered from the hand of the international court, or in general those international authority to judge combatants and Israeli leaders. So in summation, I would say that the great word is that essentially now this idea that you would let the population to move to the south essentially befried the IDF from the legal aspect, but still you have to attack an enemy, and not just randomly, that it has an operational purpose, but from a legal point of view it is pretty much leaving the IDF to do its job. True. Now there are different interpretations, including mine. Let's say that you can attack a certain building to conquer it, not by aerial bombardment of whatever tons over the house, but by sending infantry. And you know that, let's say, heaven forbid, one soldier out of all that force is liable to get hurt. Does it give you the freedom to throw that bomb instead of risking your soldiers? So here, my personal point of view, if I was the consultant to the chief of staff, I would say the life of one soldier is better than all of it. Exactly, especially after what we have seen, what all of those are capable of doing. The judge, Oded Mudrik, I must tell you that this saying of yours in consummation is a great one, the greatest and most important in all this interview. Thank you very much.